Oh my god, 4chan's Femboy Blackmail. I like 4chan. I like Femboys. I like Blackmail. I love cults. So like I feel like this one's calling for me. Like this one right here is calling to me. Turkey Tom for sure.
If you can't get a girlfriend, become the girlfriend.
If you can't beat them, join them. Who said that? George Washington. He knew exactly what he was talking about. If you can't beat him, join him.
And to most, this phrase is nothing more than a funny quip. However, one man's meme is another man's maxim. And in 2018, an individual on 4chan took this idea so...
Join Trap Discord group. They ask me for picture of me dressed up in order to join, showing face. Blink is like a cult. Everyone worships blah. I can't tell. Rico. Turns out they've doxed me and have all my info. They're blackmailing me with the pic, saying that if I don't take HRT, they will mail it to my family and friends. They've done this to numerous other people. So artificial transitioning. I don't know how I feel about that. It's kind of fucking genius. It's kind of a fucking genius troll.
So seriously as to try to turn every self-loathing lonely anon on these sites.
What do you do now? There's nothing you can do.
Even if it was against their will. In the process, he turns the internet against him, starting a manhunt to dox him, track him down, and hold him accountable for his crimes. This is a story about incels, shills, sissification, grooming.
Well, hold the fuck on. Hold on. I don't know how to rewind 10 seconds. But I need to go back. I need to go back.
Starting a manhunt to dox him, track him down, and hold him accountable for his crimes. This is a story about incels,
not here.
shills, sissification.
Do y'all know who this is? This is the most masculine fucking man you've ever seen. This is fucking Finster. This is Finster. This is like when he walks through a locker room, everybody like covers up out of embarrassment. Like it's swinging. It's like a baby elephant, like baby elephant trunk, or like a baby arm attached to the bottom half of his body. Like this is the embodiment of masculine energy. I love Finster. Finster's so good.
Grooming, and blackmail. This is the story of Reiko's trap harem. And before we begin, I
know way too much about Femboys. It's kind of scary.
Is not to make any political statements or push an agenda, and the various viewpoints expressed by all individuals I'll be covering are not necessarily my own. While most people on the outside probably think of 4chan as a whole as an incel site, particular boards represent that demographic far more than others. Case in point, Robot 9001, better known as /R9K. While not its original purpose, it has, in effect, become a board dedicated primarily to needs, or those who are not in education, employment, or training. To put it simply,
I've never heard of this term.
It's the hikikomori, guys living in their mother's basements, or people who are otherwise socially withdrawn. And they call themselves robots. Robots come together to discuss their lives.
You know, growing up, there was this boy that used to hang out with us. Kind of awkward. A little bit older. Played a lot of Magic: The Gathering and single player video games. Kind of a strange fellow. And he is very much reminiscent of a hikikomori. Just like a robot. Just this weird guy, and like I've seen him grow up into adulthood, and it never stopped. It never changed. And I you know who you are. You know who you are.
Or rather, their struggles, such as not having friends, a girlfriend, or any life prospects to speak of. Even the more mundane aspects of their lives are often the topic of conversation because of the unusual challenges they face. A lot of humorous screen texts have come from this board as a result. Had an itchy bottom for weeks. Notice when I wash more, it doesn't itch so much.
Yeah.
Wash every day, itching goes away. Stop washing every day, and itching comes back. I think I've found a good reason to wash
Pro tip for hygiene.
bros,
Pro tip for hygiene, because Asmongold does not give pro tips for hygiene that I've seen. When you shower, wash your butthole. And then when you get out of the shower, wipe your butthole. Because there is like with toilet paper, not with like your towel or anything. Toilet paper. Because you develop something called swamp ass, and like the water and soap, yes, in theory, does get it clean. However, you kind of got to get in like a half an inch or an inch, right? You got to get like to the first knuckle, like right there, or else it's not going to be clean. So wipe your butt afterwards, and then wash your hands. Wash your hands again, because you definitely don't want to touch. You don't want to like get pink eye or anything.
Used to bother me, sitting around not washing for a few days, but maybe it's age. What things have you learned about yourself lately, R9K? You people are
I know, that's deep. That's deep, about a knuckle deep.
Local Anon discovers that hygiene has actual functions. B11, store all my Legos in the closets in a room that no one uses.
Okay.
One day, sister's friend comes over. She finds the Legos I've built and collected, destroys all of them. Find out about it after she leaves. Fall into a Great Depression. Quit Legos because of it. That bitch. You should find her and stalk her. Build a Lego hammer and beat her to death. I once pretended to...
How do we feel about that? How do we feel? Does the death penalty justify? And we know for sure that, it's not an Islamic country that this happened in. But I probably shouldn't have said that. I once pretended to have a psychotic episode and smashed a MacBook with my bat to keep my brother and his fiance from stumbling across pictures I photoshopped of her giving birth to me. I need to read that again. I once pretended to have a psychotic episode and smashed a MacBook with a bat to keep my brother and his fiance from stumbling across. Like, is your brother the dad? Are you the dad? Are you asexually reproducing with this woman? I have so many questions.
To have a psychotic episode and smashed a MacBook with a bat to keep my brother and his fiancée from stumbling across pictures I photoshopped of her giving birth to me. Of course, we can't forget all the notorious images of people's piss jug.
It's not pee. It's not piss. It's not urine. Everybody knows. Well, maybe they don't. Maybe they don't. I am from the South. Southeastern United States. This is sweet tea. Try it. You'll like it.
And catastrophic looking rooms from their absolutely demented lifestyles. But it's not all fun and games. As much as we like to joke about them, these situations take their toll on people. Robots are understandably desperate considering their living conditions. So threads on the board often
you'll like this one, I promise.
Undertone,
I promise.
A resentful one.
It's not too sweet tea.
Turn their hatred towards women and so-called normies who unfairly get to enjoy the perks of being well-adjusted while they don't. Though the stereotype has always existed, R9K set the gold standard for the loser archetype. A guy obsessed with those who do better than him, usually ranting about Chads, Alphas, Stacies.
Oh, he forgot Sigmas, though.
Worth of other newspeak you've probably heard before. And sometimes, their frustration takes a drastic turn for the worse. Multiple mass shootings have been associated with 4chan, but one case was connected to R9K in particular. You may have seen the post in question before. Some of you guys are alright. Don't go to school tomorrow if you are in the Northwest. A thread will be posted tomorrow morning. So long, space robots.
School shootings are not a good thing. I don't think that people should do that. That's a bad thing. However, this guy was kind enough to warn people, which is a lot more than other people give. Don't do it. Don't do it. Please don't do it. But if you're gonna do it, warn people. Warn people, like the police. Warn the police. Let them know. That'd be good people to let know. Like, the police would be really good people to let them know.
This post, made on September 30th, 2015, wasn't just an edgy troll, as the next day, a shooting would take place at Umpqua Community College, with the perpetrator taking 9 lives and injuring 8 others. In another case, a teenager named
could be
Shuab
coincidence.
Aslam shot himself on livestream, holding up a paper that read, "By R9K." All around,
that's probably not a coincidence. Could be photoshopped.
Worse still, certain risks are posed by congregating such a large pool of people with poor mental health. They're vulnerable to manipulation or being taken advantage of. If someone wanted to, they could promise these Anons what they want most in life: companionship, validation, even an outlet for their sexual frustration.
Isn't that what we all want?
A thinly veiled disguise for...
It's a trap.
On 4chan, shills are...
Some people say it's a trap. You know, traps, trap things. Most of the time, unwillingly. However, if you walk into it willingly, is it still a trap or is it a decision? I don't know. Let me know.
Are commonplace. If you've ever gone on it to ask a question, you've probably been called one. But what is a shill? Well, a shill is someone who tries to engage in deceptive or covert advertising. Shills pose as regular posters to appear natural and blend in as if they were unrelated individuals, while promoting something they're associated with. However, the people labeled as shills usually advertise something that goes against a board's typical ideology or set of values, so it's used pejoratively against them when observant Anons notice their mischief. Maybe someone's trying to promote their Discord
Get mod on a
server
Discord
when
server
people
with
are
over
just trying to
1,000
talk
members,
on the
instantly
board,
gain
or
300
perhaps
pounds.
It'll be an individual
That's exactly.
to push leftist ideas.
Before I became a moderator on Discord, I was exactly 2 pounds. After that, I became exactly 302 pounds. It's thug life is a hard life to live.
On a far-right board, or vice versa. Some shills just want to derail conversations and threads by starting pointless arguments. Do a little trolling, if you will, merely for its own sake. Others make what is called a slide thread, a meaningless thread meant to decrease the quality of the
You got all red and link on there.
On the board. It fits the board's purpose just enough so that it doesn't get moved.
Is that like a bootleg Jim from The Office?
The sole intention of making other threads slide down on the board's catalog, hence the name. But not all shilling is created equal. Some shills are more creative and unorthodox than others. Sure, you could just promote your Discord server or your ideology, but what if you promoted a Discord server with an ideology that's consisted exclusively of compelling lonely men to cross-dress?
First of all, this person's typing fast as fuck. I mean, fast as fuck. I don't know what they're typing. Looks like maybe something in a like command prompt or something. However, like this is a small critique for Turkey Tom's video. There is a lot of filler videos like this used, and I get it. You're a commentary channel. I get it entirely. All my content's filler. So what can I say? However, like some of the faces that he uses for his like PNG, technically this is like a PNG YouTuber or like a commentary channel. Like some of the faces just don't fit the exact like tone of the video at the moment that it's coming on.
It sounds weird, but in 2019, R9K became flooded with so-called trap threads, which proselytized the benefits of becoming...
That is the original definition of manliness right there. Sneaky. Professional League of Legends player for Cloud9, AD carry, one of the most winning or most successful at international tournaments. It's a beautiful man. It's a beautiful man, both as a man and as a woman.
Becoming trans, or just cross-dressing and being a femboy. Let's be clear here. We're not talking about the trans threads on a board like LGBT.
Let's just say I was participating in NoFap until I saw that.
People to vent and share information.
That's sneaky.
The threads on R9K were attempting to market the transition to lowlifes and outcasts by pandering to their insecurities. If intrusive gay thoughts were ever a thing, these certainly read like them. So why haven't you become a cute girl yet, Anon? It's so easy to do. HRT is actually ridiculously cheap. Already looking pretty feminine just from some light exercise and a decent diet.
Sure.
Time to leave the male gender behind. He hasn't taken the trap pill yet. Why do you want...
The problem is I am wider, like not like whiter, but like wider. I have the width of a 16:9 TV. Like I can't do it. My shoulders are fucking wide. I look like a man, regardless of what weight I am. It's thug life's hard.
Want to be lonely. So why haven't you taken the pink pill yet, Anon? It's extremely cheap and easy to get. Girls don't have to be lonely. So why haven't
That's a
you
compelling
taken the
argument.
girl yet, Anon? It was sold as a way to get laid, with the catch being that you're gonna get laid with another dude. If you can't attract a woman, become a woman and attract
Fair.
men instead. As ridiculous as it sounds, R9K is a red board, meaning it allows not safe for work content. Add to that the
Like, that's actually a very funny troll.
and fetishistic content among this demographic of men, and this material infested the board with ease. Just post a thread with a picture of a cross-dressing male, a trap if you will, and start selling transitioning as the solution to every robot's woes. The shenanigans didn't end there. There were also guides and instructionals, such as how to achieve trap mode aesthetics. This image includes diet and exercise recommendations, including but not limited to eating more soy, drinking water from plastic bottles with BPA, eating less meat, and drinking semen. Of course, much of this material
It's high in protein. It's good for you. It's really good for you. There's nothing wrong with that. And like, these people are just trying to get better into like better shape. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with promoting this lifestyle. I'm okay with this.
was more explicit in nature, but we can't get into all of it. Now, a lot of people were not happy about this. You can see them in the replies to these threads, being annoyed by the incessant posting of topics which they were at best uninterested in, and at worst, repulsed by and ideologically opposed to. R9K is a board for original content. Same threads day in, day out. I mean, the board has clearly failed to do its job, so just delete it already. You're all going to get tired of spamming this.
It might be winning. It might be doing its job very well.
But who was behind such a ridiculous effort and why? Was it completely organic, or was someone trying to convince presumably straight men to become gay? And how could that even work? Were Anon suddenly discovering their true sexuality?
If it's hard to say this, right? Because it's really hard to say this. If God didn't want me to be gay, he wouldn't put my G-spot in my butthole. That's all I'm saying.
En masse? Was this a sinisterly orchestrated plot, or just?
And if I'm gonna be gay, I might as well be gay with a guy that looks like a woman, right?
Material as to make it unusable for the average denizen. Whatever the case was, robots were getting fed up. They wanted answers, and answers they would soon get.
Rico's harem. Okay.
For a while that this was a coordinated effort organized in Discord servers to overrun the board. Later, in March 2018, these suspicions would be confirmed. A tidal wave of information would emerge over just a few days, exposing what had been brewing for the past several months. The exact order in which the leaks were made is unclear, since this disorganized investigation took place on 4chan. But one of the first iterations of the story, as
Rico's trap
was made on March 24th, 2018. An anonymous user posted the following. Reminder that redacteds have been on a campaign to psychologically brainwash young and vulnerable males. Attached to this post was a screenshot of Discord messages sent by a user named Reiko. They're talking to someone else named Haruka, saying, "First victim of the night. I won't rest until every sissy boy on R9K has started HRT, or at the very least cross-dressing. Less jeans in the world and more traps for me." Attached
That's a win-win.
to Reiko's message was an image of someone responding to him on 4chan saying, "Thanks, Anon, I'll think about it more seriously," presumably referring to the prospect of transitioning. Either this screenshot was a fabrication, or there was indeed someone trying to push cross-dressing on R9K to satisfy their fetish. As
Maybe.
screenshots of Reiko leaked,
Like, what's wrong with that? That's a win-win.
Find out that it was the latter. Another image was posted of Reiko listing all of the threads he started on R9K. Why haven't you transitioned yet, Anon? You won't have to be lonely anymore. What's stopping you from becoming the girlfriend? When will you take the trap pill, Anon? I decided to become a trap a few years ago, and now I stopped being a hikikomori and am enjoying life to the fullest. These are all of our current threads. Again, he
That
was
sounds like
this with Haruka,
positivity.
who said, "They are onto us." In that same screenshot, Reiko says, "lol," laughing at the following angry response to his shilling. 3 of these threads are up right now, asking the same thing in the catalog. You are a predator, and I hope no joy ever comes to your life. You motherfucker. You can psyop your shit at Pole or Soch, but to push your sick fish on these lonely, depressed robots personally disgusts me. The third screenshot takes place in a channel called
If they didn't want to do it, they wouldn't. That's all I'm saying. If they didn't want to do it, they wouldn't.
These activities. Reiko discusses how their operation is going with another user named Sorion. Really, it's unbelievable how they think it's just us. It's so dumb how they haven't figured out that there are loads of people I've got just to shill. So, Ray, how do you want to switch up the trap threads to avoid being filtered? Reiko: yes, we should do that. It's not very difficult to get past filters, to be honest. Just put random spaces, misspell things, etc, etc.
They were hacking.
Sorion: true. Really, R9K is so dumb, they'd probably suspect us of making it so our trap threads don't get filtered. Lol. Though I'm still wondering about the loyalty of the people I've hired. Reiko: I mean, you're paying them to do such an easy thing. I don't see why anyone would go against us and f that up. Free money, pretty much. Sorion: wow, that's true.
Yeah, I'd willingly shill for this cause. This is a noble cause.
I want to gain my show money while gathering info. Some screenshots dated a few months earlier show the beginnings of this operation and the philosophy behind it all, if you can call it that. Reiko: want to join my harem Discord? You can help convince the femboys and traps there to take HRT. Screen cap everything the non-believers say. We'll have the last laugh. Haruka: yes, this operation will be kicked into overdrive once I get enough money to pay shills to tell people to transition. Then we will create a world where everyone gets laid. A paradise. Reiko: tears of joy.
It's a problem.
Haruka:
That's a problem right there. You're under the assumption that everyone getting laid will fix all the world's problems. It will not. It will not. It will exacerbate them. Or exacerbate. It's a big word. It's a big word. And I'm stupid. So forgive me. But it's just going to make it worse. It's going to make it so much worse.
Ways to turn all beta males into those who will die as virgins or become redacteds and get laid. We will accelerate this future by converting all robots on R9K into male to female girls. Our job is to accelerate human evolution. In the future, 60% of all born men will be converted into T-girls with HRT and surgery if they don't have enough masculine features, or if their genes predispose them towards a life of rejection by women if they grow up as men. They are not men.
How do you know? Like, how do you know that's gonna happen though?
In the future, there will be no Huns, and all traps will have a big set of nice boobs and curves and female bone structures. It's too late for the majority of us. I, for example, cannot transition since it would compromise my life socially. But other than that, I really believe I should be transitioning.
Okay.
I must encourage everyone who can to do it. Everyone who can pass should be doing it. Many people don't get laid because girls are hypergamous, mostly because they're soy boys, and soy boys are basically closet redacteds.
So, like, how do we feel about this? They can't transition because it would compromise their life socially, which would, happen to a lot of people, I'd imagine. And sometimes when you truly believe in a mission, you must be the leader on the front lines, leading your team into battle. And if their life is going to be, they got to see somebody else. Like, they got to see somebody else. You got to be the one to lead them there. And people don't lay because girls are hypergamous. I don't think that's what it is. Like, it sounds very incelish. It sounds very what's that, MGTOW-ish? Just do better. Just do better, man.
Haruka, when you post trap threads on Poll, some of them will say, I want a trap girlfriend. The idea is inside everyone. We target.
I mean, it is, right?
Redacteds.
I do want to address that. Hypergamy is very real. Very real. Women date above their means, men date below. Just how it goes. How it goes. However, do better. Do better. And you would have something to be hypergamous towards, like or for them to be yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you do better, yes, self-improve. Thank you. Do better, and then you will be the best and at the top of the food chain.
And use it to turn Poll into redacteds. It will spread from these to the others. Haruka is talking about the prospect of the far-right users on the board / Poll becoming fashy femboys. I don't know what's more cataclysmic, this or the time /MLP and /Poll fused into ML Poll.
First of all, I'm not saying I was a brony. I'm not saying I was a brony. However, there's a lot of Rule 34 artwork out there that I may have stumbled across in my time. I don't know how I feel about this version of Rainbow Dash. I think it's Rainbow Dash. Yeah, it's gotta be Rainbow Dash. There's no rainbow, but I'm pretty sure there's. Oh, is this Clopper? Never mind. Fuck them. I'm not that much of a brownie. Actually, how do you know that? How do you know that? How do you know this is Clopper? How do you know? Got my eye on you. My eye on you. Who the hell doesn't? I didn't know that was Clopper. I was like, I saw Rainbow Dash and I got offended, and then I just like made this whole scenario up in my brain and I spewed it out in front of the internet to see.
And became a hateful brony board. In any case, there was some question of how long all of this had been going on. If you were to look up the Discord username...
I'm fucking colorblind, okay? I'm colorblind. I didn't see that there wasn't a rainbow. You know why? Because I don't recognize rainbows, okay? Rainbows don't exist. They don't. They don't. Why? Because rainbows were a covenant that God put into the sky that he would never flood the land again. I don't believe in God, and I don't believe in gays. I take that one back. Please don't cancel me.
Reiko3333 on Discord, you would find that he'd been shilling, presumably this same Discord server, on R9K for quite some time. Most recently, in March 2018, he posted, recruiting traps, redacteds, and females for my harem Discord. Add me up. But it went all the way back to November 2017 when he made a
I gotta write that down.
Hey,
fuck, no, I can't. Rico333 isn't a thing. Discord changed their usernames.
This really was an operation to turn the robots gay, orchestrated by a clearly demented man with too much time on his hands. But what were his motives? Well, it's actually not hard to guess.
Chaos?
Dated September 2017, we have the following work of literary horror and hilarity from Reiko himself, though there's some question of this being a copy pasta. My ultimate fantasy is kidnapping a cute boy and locking him up in my basement. I will let him consume nothing but soylent, estrogen, and milk mixed with my...
What's wrong with this? I see nothing wrong with this. Well, the kidnapping, okay, right? Like, kidnapping, sure, you might want to adult nap them because kidnapping is wrong. But other than that, you know, I mean, there's nothing wrong with this.
Every day when I catch him about to sleep in bed, I will enter his room, manhandle him into a chair, restrain him, and put him in front of a monitor that is showing terabytes of sissy hypno videos. As he falls more and more...
You don't even have to kidnap me and like fucking force me to do it. I'll do that willingly. Like, I don't understand. Why do you gotta restrain them? Like, what?
Or for my psyop, I will leave adult toys around his room for him to play with.
Great.
Near the end of his training, I will remove all the toys from his room and leave makeup, shaving tools, and dresses in his room. I will deny him any kind of pleasure for a week straight, but when he is completely lust-filled, I will descend into his room with nothing but a mask on. Haruka, on the other hand, explained their actions with the following.
As Donald Trump would say, it's a good deal. It's a real good deal.
A push to end repression, and by giving that push, we can save them from, even worse, Hun status. Since you can't actually make someone trans,
I don't know what Hun status
giving the
is.
wrong person a push is fairly low risk and harmless. Ergo, it makes sense to push and push aggressively. Point is, I think most of us wish we'd figured it out younger and would have appreciated someone pushing us. So we try to make the world a better place by pushing others. But the most insane and anime villain-esque explanation of all came from a user on the server named Malfian. This same guy seemed to believe he was a wizard, which honestly is on brand with the message that followed.
He must be a 30-year-old virgin on the internet.
Me often ask, will the spam stop? And what will it take for this to end? And I have an answer. The spam will never stop as long as normies infest my board. I've been here 10 years, and I intend to be here 10 years longer. The changes I see are ones of calcification
That's not good.
and drifting towards the normalcy of Google, YouTube, etc., where everything is sanitized and frozen in time. I do not care one way or the other about the current zeitgeist of transgenderism, just like I did not care back in 2014 about cuckoldry or Gamergate. What will be made clear, however, is that if you decide to visit this ancestral land of filth and decay, that you will not leave unchanged. You shall become something that you once hated, and forevermore shall you be that twisted and horrid thing. No.
So it sounds like he Misery loves company. And he's alone. He's on this board, and he's been there for 10 years, and he plans to be there another 10 years. Misery truly loves company. He just wants you to change into a monster like he is. Like there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
I do not care for simply victory over this invasion. I shall see minds warped and bodies mutated into purposeless forms by the changer of ways. With the consent of those weak-willed enough to heed the siren's calls, I fill the board with.
He's just saying it out loud. That's what we're all thinking.
But there is victory over the souls and minds of the visitors and the casual users of the board. I will not stop until every man who dares enter this holy place of ours is faced with a wall of knives, onto which he shall willingly fall upon, or a wall of needles, which will close in and mutate him into the abominations we love to laugh at.
Here's the problem. Marketing it all wrong. All wrong. Like, you want people to join your cause. And I'm fine with that. 100% get it. Don't have them like fucking walls of knives and needles, like pillows of needles. That's not good. You want them like to have cotton candy and rainbows that we don't acknowledge exists. Stuff like that. Like, this is terrible marketing. Who, like, you're not a knife salesman. You're not a needle. You don't sell hypodermic needles. So, most people, I guess you need a knife, for specific things. But really, how often do you need a needle? Maybe for insulin, or heroin? I don't know. That's not for me to judge. I'm gonna go the Asmund route. Put me in charge. I will sell the fuck out of this. I will sell the fuck out of this idea.
The trap spam has threefold
mainly because I believe in it.
To normalize the idea of trans people as a force in their lives, to confuse the users into seeing femininity and masculinity where there is none or both, and to convince the users of a prevalence of these ideas in outside society. Those that actually do go outside and see the world for what it is know that there are nowhere near as many traps as are presented, but chances are if they go out that frequently, they do not have the time or alignment to argue against it with their likely liberal views and busy schedules.
We can be like a sleeper agent. I will go out into the world and push this, and you can stay online and like mastermind it. I don't care. Like, I'm down for the cause. I'm willing to die. This will be my jihad. This is my holy ground that I will walk upon. I will not rest until there are more male to female traps out there. That's our new mission in life.
If the mods act against us, there are countless countermeasures against them. If the users act against us, they shall not emerge unchanged and unbroken in spirit. If the newest and best abominations change, then we'll just change gear like when we stopped the cuck spam to start the redacted spam. No singular act can stop us. No group of people with the knowledge of our deeds and plans could ever hope to stop it any more than a storm spotter can stop a hurricane.
Yeah.
We have been denied our home for too long now. And
I mean, to be fair, we could probably stop a hurricane with like weather modification and stuff. Everybody knows the government controls all that shit anyway.
Shatter Overton's window and scream to the highest heavens and lowest hells until the decision is made to turn the damned hole into a wall. And once more, may we know the peace of isolation. Along with these screenshots was a collection of 9 Discord accounts supposedly involved. R9K had all but confirmed the allegations of shilling at this point, which, all in all, seemed like a perverted, but mostly harmless and entertaining ploy. At the most, it was annoying for R9K users. And who knows, maybe a few people were converted into Reiko's femboy religion, but altogether, it looked more like basement dwellers trolling other basement dwellers and acting like Machiavellian puppet masters in the process.
Sure.
But the story doesn't end there. It would be mere days before more sensationalistic and sinister accusations about Reiko and his true motives started.
I mean, I guess it is technically like Machiavellian in nature.
On R9K. Join Trap Discord group. They ask me for a picture of me dressed up in order to join, showing
someone's gonna write a book about this one day. I guess we don't do books anymore. We do videos. Good job, Turkey Tom. You made a video about it. You made history.
Have all my info. They're blackmailing me with the pic, saying that if I don't take HRT, they will mail it to my family and friends. They've done this to numerous other people. What the f do I do now? Now,
conform.
This post could be fake, but if it was to be trusted, the same Reiko that had been exposed before for shilling was allegedly blackmailing unsuspecting people into transitioning IRL. Now, there was only one message from Reiko about this in the original leaked screenshots, saying, "At Waseru, if I don't have another picture of your thighs by the end of the hour, I will be messaging your mom about your little secrets." Although, considering Waseru was supposedly one of the people involved, it was probably a joke. However,
but have a good night.
Reiko mentions he has 3
Sleep
servers.
Well.
One being
Don't let the
the
bed bugs bite.
server, and another one he calls the harem. This recalled his earlier post on 4chan about his Discord trap harem, which lent more credibility to the idea that he was rounding up people in servers to exploit them for his own gratification. However, Anons needed much more evidence than this. Well, another person, also on April 4th, posted something slightly more concrete, an image of them with the name Reiko written on their chest, as well as the phrase PSN owns this, with an arrow pointing down into their pants. Along with this, they said,
"Who is PSN?
Reiko made me write his name on my body. I literally don't know what to do." Other images also surfaced of people writing Reiko's name on their bodies. He's
like a mastermind.
Allegations spread like wildfire. People hated the trap posters already, and this justified their loathing and suspicions that these people were unhinged creeps. Plenty of threads were started on R9K to discuss, investigate, and collate info about the subject. Anons made videos and posts on other sites to summarize and further propagate the story about Reiko and his harem. Guy called Reiko and his pals gain the trust of boys with physical insecurities and get them to dress up in girly clothes and send pictures. Once these people have been doxxed, they are blackmailed to take HRT, or else their pictures will be sent to friends and family. We all have friends,
it's genius. It's a genius plan.
An image board for young lonely lads to talk about despair and cry everywhere. But they are at horrendous risk from scammers. Yes, that's right. These furiously fetishing fiends are seeking vulnerable R9K bots to turn them into their little sissy boy slaves, using all sorts of emotional manipulation, threats, and docs. They're turning the frickin' robots gay. It's developing. It's happening. Bussygate 2018.
I need to hear that again.
Robots gay. It's developing. It's happening. Bussygate 2018.
Bussygate 2018. That's a good year. That's a real good year. That was pre-COVID. And I missed out on all the bussies. I did not know this was a thing.
The theory was that Reiko and his gang
So sad.
had chosen to conduct this psyop on R9K.
Some would say
because
the
men there
pandemic
had a lot
started
of
well
pent-up
before that.
desire, and they just wanted some kind of intimate interaction or validation, no matter what it was. It didn't matter if they had to get that validation by cross-dressing, and it didn't matter if it was coming from a guy like Reiko. Internet sleuths dug up Reiko's other accounts to find any other details about the man that could potentially dox him. He had a Twitch account, a profile on Steam, and a YouTube channel. Oh, look. How to draw an anime trap.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd say that sounds about right.
It's good to know.
People were already far,
I don't know how to do
into
that.
the land of speculation
Maybe I can learn.
at this point, which ties back to the case of Shuab Aslam and his death. He took his life just a few weeks before, in March 2018, so people tried to connect his death to Reiko. Remember that boy who skull-capped himself the other week? Apparently, he was caught up in it. While it was during the same period, and he was on R9K, there's no evidence of a connection other than that, and it ended up being nothing more than a rumor that spread solely because people kept repeating it. However, if true, it would explain why he did it, since, as his name indicates,
that would be
he
a good
was
reason.
either from a Muslim family or a Muslim country, and cross-dressing would be frowned upon to say the least. However, until then, there was no solid proof that Reiko had been blackmailing anyone. Running a sissy hypno psyop? Sure. But coaxing people into taking HRT, threatening to dox them, forcing them to
I don't know, I
write
think
his
we're
name
onto
on
something
themselves
here.
as opposed to them doing it willingly, there wasn't much of anything to back those allegations up. Well, until the following thread was made. Hello, I have proof of blackmail. My friend Yozam was caught up in the Reiko drama. They tried forcing him to take HRT.
Yozam
and
sounds like a
post
fake
pics
name.
Or they would dox him. He was smart enough not to and tried to retaliate. Here's the logs. Please do not let Reiko do this to you. Linked in the thread were Discord logs. The logs themselves, however, tell a bit of a different story. Reiko was indeed trying to pay someone to get the dox of this individual, whoever he was. But apparently, it was because Yozam had tried to swat Reiko. Now, even if that were the case, it could be retaliation against Reiko for attempting to force him to take HRT. And
Could be.
even if this Yozam
Maybe not, though.
made a
Maybe
SWAT
it's
attempt,
unrelated.
it wouldn't necessarily justify Reiko trying to dox him. Yozam, they tried doxing me. Anon. Was that before or after you tried to swat him? Yozam, after I provoked him. He also posted some not very legal things, which drew the ire of Haruka. Anon. So basically, how did you find out about this stuff? I heard they were paying you to post threads, but you went turncoats. Yozam. What? That's a myth. Haruka and Reiko hate me. Reiko hates me because I wanted to swat him. Haruka hates me because I posted some not very legal things and I'm friends with a scammer. In other screenshots, Yozam affirmed
So not a good
the claim
person.
of HRT blackmailing, but did not provide any proof other than his testimony. Anon. So they did try to blackmail you into HRT? What age were you then? Yozam. This was a couple months ago. Actually, more like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Yozam. After
So
they
is it
threatened me,
true?
I retaliated. It's why they hate me. Yet again, the investigation was inconclusive.
Here's the thing. I firmly believe that when you are dealing with terrorists, that you must take the approach of the United States government and don't deal with them. If they're going to blackmail you, you fucking do it first. You take the pictures, you take the text messages, you release them to everybody else. Like, you don't ever let somebody have power over you. Ever. Fuck them.
The person that would show up to help try and settle the matter after days of controversy was, surprisingly enough, Reiko himself. He gave an hour-long interview on a Discord server, wherein he gave his own,
It's a long
obviously
interview.
biased and potentially dishonest account of events. He came clean about many things. They were, indeed, paying people to spam the board with trap threads.
But,
Makes sense.
Like, we found out that Mongo is like rich off crypto cash or something. She has paid a few people to post. I don't know the payment details. I don't know how she pays them. I don't know if she pays them by thread. I really questioned her too much because she kind of I don't know. She's nice, but a little lots of too.
Where did the money come from? A rich, neat girl named Mongo who made $70,000 off of crypto. On the one hand, I'm thrilled
Wow,
that not
she put
everybody
money
has
into
access
this.
to money, when this is what this sick freak did with her cash, as opposed to literally anything else. However, I also have to appreciate the James Bond.
She believed in the message.
She undertook to finance trolling.
I am a
on an
big fan of
industrial
hers.
Scale. Reiko also gave an estimate.
She
of
stood
how
up for
much
what
the
she
trap
believed in. She
posting
put
is
her money where her mouth
responsible
was.
for.
Okay, and to give people perspective, what percentage would you say of the trap threats were yours?
I would say probably 15 to 20%.
As for the images of people with his name written on them, he confirmed they were real and that he wanted them to do so. But according to him, it was entirely voluntary.
Yeah, he's basically just asking why there are loads of traps with like your name written on them and like other people's names and things.
That's not like a malicious thing though. It's
Sure.
not like I'm forcing them, blackmailing them to write their names. Like, I mean, I really like thought.
Fair.
And, like,
A lot of men do.
I've gotten people to or traps to write my name on their thighs. It's not like a blackmail thing or like a threat thing. It's just, I've gotten them to do that. And like a lot of them are willing to do it for whatever reason.
He went on to give a rundown of his
It seems like
various
an honest
server
answer.
functions.
We had a RGTOW, like that. I'm not gonna really give the full server history on that, but
Just give us the
It's
quick
just-
rundown.
it's just like it was pretty much for a while. The main owner was Haruka. It was just like it was mostly it was just like a regular R9K just until like the trap posting started, and then like we got leaked and we decided to make the trap shilling Discord. We refer to as Operation Traptopia.
Traptopia. I like it. That's a pretty good name.
That one's
It's a pretty
more
game.
serious.
A little bit on the top. You know, when the American government decided to go with names, they made it a little bit more discreet. This one's kind of obvious, especially if it's going to be like a secret plan, right? So you kind of want it to be a little bit more discreet. But it's not a bad name. Traptopia. It kind of rolls off the tongue. The TT, the alliteration, pretty good.
Then the trap posting in RGTOW.
Yeah, that was like more secure and more serious, just because at that point we didn't want to really like get leaked anymore, draw any more attention, because obviously that was a very good idea. And then the harem Discord was something completely separate from both of those that I had for a long time myself. That it was just mostly like female and like trap friends and the server. And like it was kind of dead, honestly. It was just like fucking around. We would play games and it really wasn't that special. There was no blackmailing or like manipulating. Most of the people in there were like my age or older, no teenager.
He claims that
I
the
wonder
youngest
why
person on
he
the
keeps
server
like
was
dropping
17,
out when he
but
says his
that it was
words.
okay since he was 19.
I mean, I wouldn't really call that pedophilia, considering there was, like I said, it was like a sexual server, and he never made any sexual posts. He was just a friend. Like, it's not like there's a fucking age gap between us. It's not like I'm like 30 years old hanging out with like 17-year-old. Like, it's like I'm only 19.
Reiko also gave his version
Like,
of the Yozin situation.
I kind of said it earlier. I don't think there is like that's 2 years is not a big enough age gap to justify the P word. I don't think it is. 19 and 17, yes, they're technically a minor, but it's kind of like they went to high school together. They're like a grade apart. So is it really that bad? I don't think so. However, they were like 30 and 17. That's kind of fucking creepy. Kind of fucking creepy. You want 25 and 17? Kind of fucking creepy. I think when you start to get out of the 2 to 3 year age range, especially when they're a minor or the other person's a minor, then it's kind of fucking creepy. Kind of creepy.
According to him, Yozam was a 15-year-old, and the not very legal things he referred to as having posted were CP. Reiko supposedly only wanted to dox him to contact his mother and get him off the internet. However, that's relatively easy
fair.
to debunk from the Discord logs,
good-
which
good
don't
way
show him being
to do that.
concerned at all for Yozam's well-being, just vengeful over the swatting attempt. Reiko, of course, denied blackmailing anyone or doing anything criminal, but he still stated what he did was maybe kind of wrong.
I mean, I believe for the most part, like, I did wrong. Like, I'll admit that. And, like, that's mainly because, like, I don't know, I came back to bite like a bunch of other people in the ass, just, like, random people. Like, I think that, my intentions may have been extreme, but it really for the best overall. I mean,
That's what every martyr or,
for the best.
Messiah
Obviously, it
believes.
didn't work out very good at all. It just made the board even worse. But, I mean, I don't know. I just wanted the board to be better at the end, really.
Just a little oopsie, right?
God, it drives me
All in all,
nuts.
it came
Like,
off
their
as
fucking
pretty
Discord call
convincing.
is terrible.
He denied some stuff, but he also confessed to other counts, and it seems like a believable story that he was indeed a shill, but people fabricated the worst stuff about him to take him down, or maybe not. The following screenshots from Reiko's server leaked. Reiko, bullshit level 100 right now. Hee hee. Renee, lol, yeah, they're buying it. Reiko was lying through his teeth for the entire duration of the interview.
Why would he lie,
When
though?
the people
Why
on
would
the
he lie?
server found out someone had leaked Reiko's confession, they started freaking out, saying, Reiko, he leaked you saying that you lied about everything. Once Reiko found out, his reaction was what you'd expect. Okay, well, I'm legit screwed. Like, this actually really screwed
Why would you
me.
be screwed?
He linked a thread on R9K about how the blackmailing was real and said, these leaks legit killed it. Like, it's completely lost. To some, this affirmed that he had
Because the
indeed
mission has
blackmailing
been
people
compromised,
the
I
whole
assume.
time, and he was having a mental breakdown, realizing now that his lying had been exposed. I'll be homeless, I have no family. If I get swatted, unironically, I think I'm going to pretend to reach for a gun. There was no proof of blackmail at that point other than him saying that he lied, which could have pertained to
it's kind of coward's way out, don't you think? It's not very that's not a very masculine thing to do. You might need a transition. Not saying that women would do stuff like that too. I'm just saying it's not a very masculine thing to do.
To any of the numerous claims he made in the interview. To many Anons, this reaction is what ended up sealing his fate and entirely exposing him. However, another attempt was made at a cover-up by Reiko's associates in an article by the Daily Dot. They admitted to doing trap shilling, of course, but the blackmailing was the real issue at hand. One person from the server confirmed the accusations, while another denied them. They also claimed, as Reiko had, that the people with Reiko's name written on their bodies were just Reiko's friends. However, at this point, it didn't matter how convincing a cover-up you could put together.
Or they're his
People were
lovers,
already
you know?
wise to Reiko
That could
and
be a
his
thing.
associates' antics, and weren't open to reconsideration. There are plenty of different angles to take on this situation. This whole story is dubious from the get-go because it's documented almost exclusively through Discord messages and Reddit threads.
Sure.
These could
It's
easily
in
be
writing.
falsified by anyone with a moderate aptitude in Photoshop. It's still unlikely that everything that went down was fake, but that fact certainly casts doubt on nearly every aspect of the incident overall. One possibility is that all of the allegations were true. Reiko was blackmailing people into transitioning by threatening to dox them and share whatever images he had already obtained of them. Evidence in this corner
Sounds right.
who claimed he did so.
Sounds
as
like
well
that's
as his
exactly
own
what this
admission
video
that
has been
he
about.
100% lied in the interview, and his freakout when he thought people had confirmed the blackmailing allegations. Another option is that Reiko wasn't blackmailing anyone. Other people started that rumor. For example, people who were sick of the trap threads and created a conspiracy to shut the whole trend down.
Also
However,
plausible.
why would he say he lied in the interview? Still, another possibility is that Reiko himself was the one to start the rumor to make himself look like an anime villain. Although, how much 4D chess can
Also
you expect
plausible.
of a robot that's so dysfunctional? He spent the good part of a year trying to make random strangers on the internet cross-track.
Dysfunctional. I call it genius. I think it's just I don't want to say misconstrued, just misunderstood. He's misunderstood. I think it's a misunderstood genius. Like, the cause is noble. I am with you.
Maybe he could have wanted to create a drama or controversy to get himself recorded in the annals of internet history. Perhaps he was the one who made the post starting the rumor, the one who posted the pics of people with his name written on them, and maybe he even faked his confession to having lied to implicate himself and in some way saw all of that as beneficial. He would have to be off his rocker for the last option to be the case, but hey, no one can know for sure. The last leaked message from the servers I could find was from August, after everything went down. And with this in mind, I think we have our answer. I need to get those thigh pics. I only have 5. I need to expand. Well, 5 where they wrote my name on them. I need mentally ill, insecure traps to harass so I can boost my ego.
There you go.
Discord servers and
There you go.
4chan boards are home to depraved enough
It's a
activities
fucking
on
kink.
their own, but somehow get orders of magnitude worse.
Don't judge the man.
Forces. Feeding 4chan users, especially from one of the more notorious boards like R9K, into a Discord server is just asking to create a cesspit of troubled individuals who are up to no good. That, or a group of mentally ill outcasts who can easily be manipulated and exploited since they have no support system, friends, or family to check in on them. In fact, one of the first steps cults take to prepare their victims is to isolate them from
Yeah,
their
absolutely.
loved ones
Isolate
and
them. Get them
society
away.
as a
Don't
whole.
let them
Lucky for
talk
the
to their family,
sociopaths
friends,
of the
nothing.
world, there's a large
Scientology.
demographic of people online who are already isolated, with no effort on their part. On that note, let's just pray we won't see any more crossover episodes of these two platforms in the near future, because, while intriguing, they're also highly disturbing. I've been Turkey Tom, thanks for watching, and until next time, leave me alone.
It's a good video. It's a good video. I don't always like the way that Turkey Tom presents as far as, some stylistic choices. However, this was a good video. And I don't see a problem with it. Like, I'm okay with that. More traps in the world just makes the world a better place.